And in this video, I will show you the exact formula and system that I use to go from idea to execution. So for every single successful entrepreneur and business that you see out there, they utilize what I call the experience, money, time triad. And I'm going to explain it, so please pay attention. If you have time and experience, it's inevitable that you will always make money. If you have time and money, you can always get the experience that's needed to go from point A to B. But if you have experience and money, you can always shorten the time that it takes you to go from point A to point B. Remember, money can get you talent. Talent can shorten the time that it takes, and that shortened time can build momentum because you're getting from A, B, C, D a lot quicker than somebody else. That is, they don't know where they're going, they're still figuring things out. It's taking them years when you can do a quantum leap and it will take you maybe months or maybe even weeks, depending on how quick your execution is. And when you have momentum, you will eventually make money. Majority of entrepreneurs only have time because you have limited capital. That capital is mainly just for you to survive whilst you're figuring things out, right? And you have limited experience. Even if you've been working in your industry, you don't have a holistic view of what it takes to really go from point A to B. Right. So the question is, how do you execute this triad? That is the backbone of every single successful business if you are lacking in two departments. Majority of the time, like I said, you have time. You don't have money unless you have an investor who's willing to give you money, but there's a high chance that they won't unless you have experience. Where a lot of founders or entrepreneurs go wrong is they want to do everything by themselves. They want to know everything by themselves. They want to execute everything by themselves. But that's so limited in terms of how quick you can move. If you're doing everything by yourself, you're doing everything by trial and error. If I could tell you that, hey, there's a way that you can work the exact same way you're working now, the exact same effort, because you're grafting, you're putting in the work. If I told you you can do the exact same thing you're doing now and disproportionately see massive results, would you take it? Of course you would take it. Who wouldn't? Build on the shoulders of giants. You have to be able to attract people in your industry or where you are working in that have decades of experience and credibility. So, the first thing that you must have is a bankable idea. Big idea. The reason why big ideas are important is because big ideas have a massive gravitational field. Because someone that has 10, 20, 30 years of experience in their sector, they're probably making more money than you are right now. They have the experience in the world. But for them to come and join your goal or your vision or help you build this business, they have to say, do you know what? I'm having a small slice of a big pie. And if this thing goes well, man, I'll be making money. Because at the end of the day, human beings are thinking about their own selfish interest. If you have a small goal or something that you want to build, yes, it's phenomenal, and you can probably execute that by yourself, but you will find it very difficult to attract a world-class team that can help you go from point A to point B in the shortest amount of time. You need to have big bankable ideas, right? And when you have this big bankable idea, which you have to genuinely just do your market research, you have to expand the current ideas that you have. It doesn't mean from the onset you go for this massive idea, but the journey has to look like a J curve. The journey has to look like this. They have to see somewhere that they're going to have a big liquidity event. And that's why when you look at startups that are, in incubators or whatnot, and they're able to raise a lot of money,